So there I was, drinking out of my dragon mug, looking at meatballs, so contemplating sleep, when suddenly Nadine Warsaw commented on the past video. Have you read the Reddit article, Theory of Everything AMC, Wanda AMC, SEC, and Lawsuits? Pretty interesting, the theory of why Wanda sold. It's a must read. Hey! That's a good idea. And that's what we're going to be here to do, ladies and gents. Hey, this is going to be quite a piece of work. It's going to have a lot of speculation in it, and it's going to have a pillar, not just a grain, but a pillar of salt. But if you can watch until the end, I'd really appreciate it, because it's your Saturday. You decide how you want to spend it. And one of the most important pieces is the truth. We already talked about in the previous video where the SEC was going to sue the hedge funds themselves, filed on the 19th. This is now a continuation of that video. Towards the end, I talked about how Wanda was a Chinese global group that decided to cut down their stake in AMC. This is now a theory by Beebs Gaming. Give them an upvote, where you are going to learn what exactly is Wanda planning and what exactly does AMC have to do with it. Too long didn't read. Let's take a look real quick. Wanda, AMC, and the SEC are working together to build a case against the major short sellers committing blatant fraud daily that is suppressing the price of AMC stock. Wanda and AMC will stand to make a lot of money in lawsuits for capital losses. Meanwhile, the SEC will be able to prosecute fraudulent entities using information shared by AMC. So first things first, I'm going to be stopping each paragraph to tell you exactly if I'm still feeling positive about this theory and whether or not I feel like there is some strong caveats that we need to be able to take together. First things first, I am already looking at this too long didn't read and thinking SEC is a government entity. Wanda is a non-national Chinese entity, private entity, and then AMC, as much as Adam Aaron, the silverback himself, is making some pretty radical plays, that already seems like stretching the boundary of coordinated attacks. Not that AMC isn't planning this or SEC isn't planning something similar. Right? We know that the SEC, other government agencies kind of flow around and try to be able to get the information to you ASAP, which is why if this video isn't up to 1,500 likes yet, let's get that like counter up, because we need to understand, why did this major investor in AMC pull out, and what does this Reddit user think about the bullishness of that news? The players, let's make sure you guys understand. Wanda America Entertainment, before February of 2021, Wanda had a voting stake in AMC and was the single largest institutional shareholder of AMC. In early February 2021, Wanda converted Class B common stock to Class A common stock, which allowed them to sell shares on the open market. On March 19th, Wanda sold 15.6 million shares of AMC, reducing their AMC holdings from 8.8% to 6.8% of AMC common stock. Pay attention to those dates. That was just a couple days ago. AMC Entertainment, led by Adam Aaron, the AMC has staved off bankruptcy during the COVID-19 pandemic. They have raised a total of $752 million with direct offerings in 2021, one of which was responsible, 450 million of which was responsible for the 35% rip on AMC's price action last Thursday, and Adam Aaron's tweet helped fuel that fire. The first dilution of 2021 the influx of capital has put AMC in a position where they can maintain operation at current levels until the end of 2022. And per their Q1 2021 earnings call, their first dilution of 2021 would put an additional 63.3 million shares on the market. That was completed on January 27th, 2021. The second dilution of the at the market offering program that completed the sale of 43 million shares from April 27th to May 12th. Remember these dates as well. Are you guys paying attention to it yet? Okay, so we got these dates here, early February here, we have January 27th here, and April 27th to May 12th. Now I am already feeling like we have connecting strands of plot that may or may not be there, but it's important that this is how DD sifts the shit from the shaft. or I don't know how sifting anything works, but I think this is one of the most important pieces of being able to throw these dates onto a whiteboard and see the overall macro trends here. So even if you're a skeptic, I would say continue following, because the SEC is that final party and it's the lead regulating agency of the stock market. The SEC is supposed to legislate, investigate, and prosecute any entity committing securities fraud. We vilify them, and rightfully so, right? But I have been pretty strong in my support for the Gensler, the snapping man himself. They have taken a sideline seat and watched as we battled back from our own 1 yard line to be first and goal today. Their own interest in all of this is to mitigate the effect on our economy as a whole and to prosecute the offending parties. So it seems like they're still on our side. As much as we would like to fight this alone, we do need some powerful friends in the right places. We all have our sights on Citadel, but they are not the only complicit player here. This is systemic and market-wide. AMC and GME are not the only securities affected by this, and we heard Mr. Gensler himself during the congressional hearing say that himself. All right, so now you understand the parties. Halfway through the video already, let's talk about the game. January 27th, this was D-Day for the hedge funds. We had them cornered. This was the January gamma squeeze. Squeeze was imminent. Share price rocketed to over $20 a share. Trading halts comprised most of the market hours. Brokers weren't allowing people to buy, and apes are throwing poopy all over the walls with excitement. Marge was dialing during all of this at the peak of all peaks, with us getting ready to get out of the atmosphere. AMC announced the 63 million share dilution. The following day, AMC plummeted to the $10 to $14 range, and it started this descent back down to $5 a share. Why would I do this now? Doesn't make sense until you read below. I am already starting to feel that AMC did not have the entire picture painted out. Maybe they have shifted their plan after Adam Aaron has gotten garnered a lot of attention, and now with their nose to the grindstone, giving us the energy that they need, and they know now that pivoting to the apes and giving us the democratic power that we've been wanting and craving all along, that is now the plan. But I'm assuming all the way back in 2027 that they didn't have a master plan. That's just my skeptical take on it. On March 18th, AMC is on the rise. We're going to see critical resistance get broke at 1450. Intraday, we break that wall. We are all watching patiently. This is the March gamma squeeze here. Then March 19th comes. Instead of going up, share price drops, not as heavily as on the 27th, but it doesn't continue the upward trend. All of a sudden, shares available to borrow goes from 0 to millions. Apes are confused. It doesn't make sense. We broke the wall. It's time to move. Maybe it's just the last breath the hedge funds that they have to run, and March calls. March 20th rolls around. Again, the share price drops. This time we crash below the 1250 level of support. In the following days, we come back to the $10 to $11 range, and this is the reason why we talked about 1450 before, right? That's the 61.8% retracement. 1250 is the 50%, which is the reason why those levels of resistance, breaking that level of resistance was so important for the rest of the retracement up to the gamma squeeze levels. But 1250 was a crucial support. Dropping below 50% retracement was a nail in the coffin for the rest of that month. So, we later find out the 13F filings that Wanda sold 15 million shares, stalling our ascent and bringing us back down to earth. Why would a company who stands to gain billions from a squeeze do this? Doesn't make sense until you read below. Alright, I'm really starting to see that everything does make sense. That Wanda isn't the bull that we were waiting for, that the SEC really is not involved yet in the story. So that's why I'm and also Gary Gensler has just now started to craft his vision of what he wants to see in the last few weeks or so. So I want to be able to continue suspending my understanding, because they keep saying that you have to read below. End of April 2021. Once again, we are on the rise, not quite to the 1450 breakpoint, but we are in a streak of green days. Shares available to borrow are almost gone, and cost to borrow is skyrocketing when they are available. It feels like January, March again. We're trying to get close that 1250 break, right? We couldn't back in April. Once again, from the 27th of April to the end of May, we dropped back down to 10 to 11. We were stuck there for the longest time. If you guys see the live charting sessions here, there was two very tightly compacted bands with a lot of no dead space in between. I believe it was 10, 11 all the way up to 1050-ish, and so that was almost impossible to break through for the longest time because we didn't have any volume. Once again, we plummet back to earth. Why would a company sacrifice billions in profits off of the market offering to sell all of its remaining sellable shares at $9.50 to $10.50 a share? Doesn't make sense until you read below. Okay, you really this better be good. Where are we at today? Once again, we are getting ready to break the resistance levels. The shares available to borrow are somehow appearing out of nowhere. Borrow rates have dropped 75% in a week, and every time we push that level of resistance, we get pushed back down. Does this sound familiar? I think that Wanda's unloading another block of shares. This is horribly bad for us, right? Can't be good. Wrong. This has always been the plan. It was always the game. They're adding shorty rocket fuel. FOMO is kicking in. Retail is seeing a huge increase in liquidity as new buyers join in for liftoff. It is the perfect time to drop shares if you intentionally are delaying the squeeze. Those shares are gone almost immediately. Literally, if they sell it open, even the full 30 million would get eaten up in the first hour of trading. In order to figure out why they would delay the squeeze, we need to look at the playbook. Okay. So now that you've connected a couple of neurons, right? We're 10 minutes into this video. We're almost there. You have now seen that they have purposefully taken a step towards giving the squeeze a breather, so that I'm assuming there's going to be an even larger squeeze coming up. I'm assuming this is where the logic of this video is going. My skeptic radar is going off because you understand that this kind of coordination is already edging on the coordinated price action that the SEC investigates against already. If they are trying to, if the writer of the ZD is trying to claim that, that's why being able to interpret it from that point of view, I think, is a bullish sign. Thinking that AMC is a fine stock, even if a company like Wanda is either trying to, one, delay the squeeze, or two, no longer believes in the squeeze, doesn't matter, right? Because we know that all shorts must cover. And we saw on Ortex that the shorts have started to rise again after dropping down to a low of 15%. So there is still bullish reasons to go about it, but I need to see some pretty hard evidence that Wanda actually needs to do X, Y, and Z in order to get their ulterior motive here. So let's see. Playbook. AMC and Wanda's goal throughout the last 5 months have been to build a case for the mother of all legal claims against the entities short selling the stock with synthetic shares. Okay, and we have seen this in the SEC suing the first hedge fund reported yesterday. So okay, now I'm starting to actually jump back on board in terms of plausibility. Each time we are reach a breaking point for the good, they're keeping the SP down as they gather the information they need to file a lawsuit. This person graduated with a political science degree with the aim of going to law school, so they have a decent amount of knowledge when it comes to legal proceedings. Having said that, this is what you need to prove damages in a civil lawsuit. One, who, when, how damages occurred. So we do have the who, when, how. So here's the plays. Share count, right? In order to identify the who and how, AMC needs to be able to prove which entities wronged them. So this is how they're able to do it with voting materials here. Number two, delay annual meeting. They firmly believe that AMC delayed the meeting because the sheer amount of shares they counted, right? If they count too many, there needs to be repercussions for the hedge funds and the other short whales that have created so many shares out of thin air. Right, that the naked shorting and the accounting more than they issued. This is going to be, this is within the realm of possibility, but is stretching plausibility for what AMC can't do right now, that they need to delay their meeting for. So that's why you're connecting two things that make sense only after the fact of connecting them. I can still see it. I'm not completely out yet. Involved the SEC when they knew the who and amount of shares. I believe AMC got the SEC involved. They were able to provide concrete evidence to the SEC of the fraud. So that's what the closed door meetings of the SEC. People have been speculating what that actually is. It very is likely that this involves AMC. It has been #1 trending for this past week on Twitter. So I imagine that the hubbub that created 3 consecutive GameStop congressional hearings could now be swinging to the zeitgeist of AMC is the hot ticket right now. So I can believe that, but this is still speculation, right? This is an interesting playbook, but involving the SEC and then having AMC circle back, that's some speculation indeed. Second share recount. They think that SEC advised AMC to conduct another recount for a few reasons. One, the illegal activity ramped up from January to April, and the actual share count would have undoubtedly increased in this period. Okay, fair. Number two, it allows SEC to track another data point while getting ready for the market implosion this could cause. It also delays the notification to the public of just how broken the system is. Now, when AMC announces the share count, the SEC can announce the legal proceedings it will pursue, naming the defendants. All right, and then finally, the timing of all dilutions. If AMC diluted after or during the squeeze, they wouldn't be able to correctly identify damages incurred and when they incurred. So that is why they are choosing to do these dilutions, or at the very least, let's call them ATM offerings during times of share price weakness. Okay, so they're giving up on money in order to have a better legal case to sue for damages. They might be piggybacking on future SEC suing short hedge funds, which we know exist. So this is an excellent blend of some hard facts, some optimistic speculation, and it's getting hard to be able to see where the line blurs here. There's some confirmation bias time here. Why would Wanda and AMC sell shares pre-squeeze? Remember what they said that they would find out? Well, buckle up. Imagine the shares you have now, and knowing that you can get the maximum gains possible for your shares. That is the position AMC and Wanda have put themselves in. It is honestly genius if you think about it. Okay, I'm thinking about it. They don't have the time. They don't have the time to sell. Just watch it go, and when the dust settles, they can name their price from historical fact. I think they would take this. I would all take this option. AMC and Wanda stand to make billions from this, from the way they have played this game. Thank you for making it this far. It's a labor of love, and it took some time. All right, let me make sure that I read the very first couple of comments, because some of you have mentioned that that's important. So it's a genius level analysis. They're gonna be honest. I was watching a video on Supersonic with a lawyer who fights the hedgies. He was essentially saying that the Citadel can basically keep selling fake shares and no one can stop them. Depresses the heck out of me. Okay, so this doesn't say a counter argument. So if you have a counter argument against the pieces of speculation that the writer here provides, please provide them. But right now, I'm gonna give this a soft pass, because I can see that the logic falls into place and it creates the bullish effect of knowing that there's a plan. I have not stopped. Wanda didn't even phase me. It basically is a story that we need to understand about, but it doesn't make me any less bullish than I am after that crazy run last week. And now giving you guys what you need to know from user Beebs Gaming. So once again, make sure you do your own research, but hopefully this gives you some context of the logic at which Wanda and AMC and the SEC are taking to be able to align everyone's incentives. Because at the end of the day, DD can only work so far as the transparency of the regulations that we allow. So that's why we keep on fighting for data transparency. And if you guys have not had a chance quite yet, well, the trading app that I'm using here is Webull, so that's 2 free stocks for you for nothing. Just go ahead and check it out. There's also 15% off a bunch of items on the Moon Platoon merch store, so go ahead and check out andrewmomoney.com for that. And if you guys want to make swing trading easy, cheat code algorithm makes it super easy. Look at how we were able to predict the squeeze from January and March using that software. And for now, but not for forever, thank you to those of you who support the show, and we'll see you in the money. Peace.